It's me again. Me. Don't mind any of this stuff here. I'm in a different place, both physically and mentally, in my journey. I went to, well, the typewriters back here. That's just some of them. We're getting to that. Don't you worry. None about. I don't even want you to look at that. Now, I'm getting to yesterday. Yes. Here's a thought. I yesterday I went to the thrift store. I'm not gonna tell you the thrift store name because what I'm about to tell you. Okay. Anyway, went there and they had records, the long playing type, the vinyls, for 75 cents. But half price day. I didn't know that. I grabbed a stack of about 30 records, 30 give or take, estimate, wink, 30 actually. And I took them up there. Place closes at 3 o'clock, but it was like 2:40, 2:45 by the time I got up to check out, right? And so then she says, "Oh, well, you got here on half price day, so these 30 records would have cost you $22.50, but they're going to cost you what? I don't know, what, $11.75, something like that." Anyway, but then I was like, I should have got more records, but it was too late. The place was about to close. But the place, okay, late Sunday night. I'm recording this, so I'm thinking, well, the place is closed. It was closed today. This was Saturday afternoon. It was closed today, and it's closed tomorrow, Monday. But what if I was up there at 10 a.m. in the morning when it opens on Tuesday? The records would be 75 cents, but I could get more of them. All right, and there were some pretty good ones. So these things were costing me 37 and a half cents a piece for some good vinyls, right? I hate that. I know you hate that too. Okay, hear that train up blowing? It's coming around the bend. All right, let's what, 115 train, DB, Texas. Those people live right next to the tracks. They're used to it. I live on the other side of the tracks. It's a difficult time for guys like me. Okay. Now I told you we were going to look at records, so we're going to look at some dang records. Huh? How about that? And I'm dedicating this segment to my pal Value Vinyl. It's a very sad thing happened to him. Unfortunately, he was crushed by a pile of 3,000 records. It's really sad. They had to look for him. All that was left was a beard. That didn't happen. And if something did happen to him, I'd feel kind of bad for a while about it. All right. It was a Mexican. They had a lot of country records, and a lot of Hawaiian themed records. They had Don Ho records. Of course, I didn't get any because I was thinking I was paying a certain amount and I was on a limited budget. But perhaps Tuesday, I could hoe it up with some Don Ho shenanigans. Tiny bubble. Yes. Mexican music. This is Persuasiones Mexicanas by Tino Contreras. This glare is going to be a problem. Good thing they're not in the bags. Good thing I ran out of bags. Alright, this was some Latin. It's a Latin beat. It's a Mexicano beat. Mexicano music's going to come back in style, what with the border crisis. Political. Okay. Baja Marimba Band's back. Hey, on this one, you see all their back. We don't know if they're urinating or not. That's their trademark. Baja Marimba Band's back. These are some good condition albums. They're not messing around, man. Vinyl is a serious, serious thing. We're not screwing here. Not screwing around either. It would be different. Heads Up by the Baja Marimba Band. And this cover is so shelf-worn and in such bad shape, I can't tell if anybody's got their back turned. I guess I could go, if only there was some way I could, like a database or something that had the original pictures. And here are the dudes that are in the band. The Baja Marimba Band on A&M Records. Ask for it by name. I think I already have one of these. Baja Marimba Band. Those were the days. And I might already have one. Anyway, it's on the boat. He's got his back turned. Yes, trademark. Okay. Variation here. It might have been the first album. The Baja Marimba Band. And it's a stereo. It doesn't really have a title other than that. So I'm thinking, well, that's probably the first album. Nobody's got the... Wait. No, nobody's got the back turned. The Baja Marimba Band, watch out. Santa Claus is coming to town, I guess. This dude here, he's got his back turned. Keeping with the tradition. Baja Marimba Band. And this is Foul Play. Right? This dude up here, behind the glass, he's got his back turned, probably urinating. That's what these guys do. It's all about the urination. Baja Marimba Band. Okay? They got fancy here. Nobody had the back turned. Greatest hits. So I guess when you're gussying it up for a greatest hits compilation, you don't get away with that. And this is it's one of those kind, that opens up from the middle. I kind of dislike them. It's not my thing. Fingerprints. Stevie Wonder's been here. I wouldn't ask him, though, because he'd deny ever seeing it. That's why I don't have kids. And I'm not going to have kids because of all the cruel things I've said in my life. Those kids would turn out to be awfully handicapped. They might talk like this. Baja Marimba Band. Okay? This is the ultimate in fancy. As time goes by. Nobody's got their back turned. You don't even see the guys. For all I know, there wasn't any guys. I had the first hearing contact knowledge I've ever had of Baja Marimba Band was back in the early 80s. And I found I think it was a cassette of theirs in a cutout bin in Bill's Dollar Store in Diboll, Texas. My hometown. And it was called Naturally. And the cover had all the guys, and they were all naked. And you could see them from the back. They had their back turned, and they all had guitars covering their bare asses. Baja Marimba Band. However, did you know, and of course you knew, they weren't a mutually exclusive thing. This was a craze, a Latino craze at the time. Baja music, south of the border music, it was giant. So they were imitators. Some generously call them homages, pastiches. Some would say, you're just ripping it off. Mexicana Marimba Band. The hell is this? And they're on White Coat Records. Windcoat Windcoat Records. Don't know what this is. Anyway, I assume it's the same type of stuff. Marimba stuff. It's a band. Marimbas Mexicanos. Okay, and this is featuring the Marimba Chiapas. Do not know. It's Latino flavored. It's on Capitol Records in high fidelity. The favorite orchestra of Latin America, Marimba Chiapas. And it's a real capital affair. And the Living Marimbas. Have you heard of them? Do you know these guys? Mexican Joe. Marimbas. Okay, the Living Marimbas mix the traditional Latin beat with the new sound. RCA Camden. So if I'm looking here, I'm going to see a blue label. Am I right? Wait a minute. This is a later pressing. Apparently, this thing was printed a few times. Must have sold well. They're not screwing around. You know, all of this cultural appropriation thing with the Black Mermaid has got me thinking. When in the past did others culturally appropriate? If only there was a time. We'll call it the 1960s. Okay, New Christy Minstrels. Is Elizabeth Warren's favorite band. Cowboys and Indians. Cowboys and Indians. I could really get in trouble for that. Wouldn't want to lose my high-paying YouTube page. Okay. And Red Clay Country, Corn Whiskey, Three Wheels on the Wagon, Lily Langtree, Navajo, Betsy from Pike, Heart of Red, Red River Shore, They Gotta Quit Kicking My Dog Around, Massacre, Ambush at Teton Pass. You know what Teton Pass is, right? Boobery. My Last Gold Dollar Is Gone. That stamp there is Special Archives Columbia. They treasured this enough to put a Special Archives sticker on it. This is what Whitey was listening to in the 1960s. Now, I ask you, I would say to you, particularly you Injuns, don't come home while drinking with lovin' on your mind, or you'll get Fist City. And one's on the way. From the coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn, the squaw is on the warpath. Your squaw is on the warpath. Now, I had to, this was 1969, I had to go to one of the vinyl groups on Facebook and say, sarcastically, I claimed to be a millennial and said I was offended by this and that we should boycott Loretta Lynn. So my gift to sarcasm and rapier wit is not always accepted by the public. Sometimes they think I'm an asshole. I got no defense against that. Anyway, turns out Loretta Lynn's heritage, her grandfather or great-grandfather was either half or full-blood Cherokee. Guess what? I'm an eighth Cherokee myself. Good little people. You know, stop stealing my land, Whitey, Paleface. I've got more Indian blood in my earlobe than Liz Warren. And she's the next president. No, I'm just kidding. She's not. However, you like Calypso? I own a total of 1 Calypso album. Inadvertently, I didn't know. I mean, I guess I ordered it thinking it was reggae or something. But now, thanks to the thrift store's half-price sale, I've got my second Calypso record. And this, they're all named Lord somebody, and this is Lord Brenner. Okay? And it's Big Bamboo Calypso. I don't know what it is. I know he looks like the 7-Up guy from the 70s. All bald black men kind of do, though. Don't, and there were a lot of Harry Belafonte records there, too. You can only grab so many records. Then, speaking of other things, like I should have mentioned, there was a shitload of Loretta Lynn records there. And I don't know Loretta Lynn from Lorena Bobbitt, Lorene Tuttle, who was Effie on The Adventures of Sam Spade. And you don't know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. All right. Anyway, if I'm there at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, I could have all the Loretta Lynn records I could ever listen to, and that's probably just one. But I know there's 10 of them there at least. But again, how many am I going to listen to? Lynn Campbell, by the time I get to Phoenix, I'd listen to that. Is that a Jimmy Webb song? I believe it is. Baby Grand. I've seen this on other vinyl YouTube channels. And to be honest with you, I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of music it is. I like the cover, okay. It looks neat. I don't know anything about it. It's just some record. It's on Arista. It looks like a white label. I don't know if that's a promo or not. I'll give it a listen eventually. This one had some cover damage, but I had to have it. I had to have it. Ray Charles, The Genius Hits wrote. And of course, I'm ill prepared for this. Ill prepared I am. Wait. That's my hairy arm. No tattoos either. I'm clean. All right. Albany Bound. Georgia on My Mind. Okay. Basin Street Blues. Mississippi Mud. Moonlight in Vermont. New York's My Home. California Here I Come. Tom Waits did a good version of that. Not completely loyal and faithful to it, but a good song. Okay. Deep in the Heart of Texas, that's where I am. That's my name. Carry Me Back to Old Virginia. Blue Hawaii and Chattanooga Choo Choo. There you are. Right, and this one's a damage here. It's to the bottom. It's kind of a lot of seam splitting and everything. But I looked at the vinyl and I was happy with it. And I said, it's literally 38 cents. I said that to myself, not out loud, because I didn't know. The New Seekers. If you're into that folk kind of stuff, I don't know much about it. I know there were the Seekers. And are these the New Seekers because the main chick left? The hot one? I don't know. I think they were Australian band, right? Whoop. All right. John Fogerty. This is a John Fogerty album. The Blue Ridge Rangers. And it doesn't say John Fogerty on it. It says it down here that it's arranged and produced by him. But this one, he left the CCR. This is what he did. And unfortunately, it's in good shape, everything's fine. But he had to stick with Fantasy Records, right? They were still screwing him, even then. I think I already have one of these, but I don't know if I have them all. There's a 2-record set. Is it a 2-record set? Yes, it is. 2 records. Okay, and it's the Stars for a Summer Night. It's got, and I may have one, but again, 2-record set for 38 cents, 37. I don't know how much. Yeah, Dave Brubeck's on here, Ellen Farrell, New York Philharmonic, stuff like that. Your average. Okay. Waylon and Willie. This has got Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. It's got something here called the year 2003 minus 25. I'm thinking that's, 1978? Don't hold me to that. That's math. That's not my forte, or my forte, as people incorrectly say. A tribute to the Country Outlaws by Sounds Like. Remember these Sounds Like albums that were on Pickwick? Okay. Singing Good Hearted Woman, Willie Whalen and Me, Blue Skies, Amanda, Georgia on My Mind, Looking Back, Texas, September Song, Take This Job and Shove It, Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, I'm Not Lisa, Help Me Make It Through the Night, and I've Always Been Crazy is performed by the Music City Rangers. The unoriginal artists on Pickwick Records. I'm telling you, we had to deal with this in the 70s, late 70s, sound-alike records that sounded nothing like the originals. Still, I'm using that familiar Pickwick P. Okay? And you'll always find a P on a Pickwick record. Because more often than not, that's exactly what they deserve. This is Tex Ritter, High Noon. I bought it bought it a lot for the cover. I'm, like the Wayward Wind, Barbara Allen, Streets of Laredo, High Noon, Do Not Forsake Me, Blood on the Saddle, but this is a great cover. I'm thinking this was probably released probably right after he died, early 70s. Of course, Tex Ritter, famous cowboy singer, his son John Ritter of Three's Company fame, that guy. Hilltop Records. Alright, now into the country phase. Country jammin'. Little Roy Wiggins, steel guitar. Mr. Steel Guitar. Okay? My father was Mr. Steel Guitar. You could just call me Little Roy Guitar. Stars of the steel guitar. With so many. It was a thing in country picking at the time. And it's got Little Roy Wiggins on here. He's number one. He's the biggest star. Montana Slim, and he's reminiscent. Western favorites. These are the songs of my people in the West, even though I'm in the South. Parade Hi-Fi. Well, it's got seam splits. That's okay. Ballads of Texas by Mitch Torok and Ramona Red. That's them right here. A lovely couple. Probably both long dead at this point. Volume 1, Texas Specialty Records. Right. This is a Vanity Press. It's not something anybody's ever heard of. It's probably bizarre. Kings of the Steel Guitar. Now, who might it be? Pete Wade, Leon McAuliffe, Herb Remington, and Jinx Carmen. Yep, Kings of the Steel Guitar. The living legend, Roy Orbison. This is a candlelight music 2-record set as seen and heard on TV. And inside, 2 records here, but it's Columbia Special Products, so I guess they were all together, tied in somehow. Right? Roy Orbison soundtrack to the fastest guitar alive. He made a movie. Tried to make a movie star out of him like they did Elvis. And couldn't really act. Not so good. This one, if you're paying attention value vinyl, you gotta see this, man, because I didn't think that they had pulled this off. You like Roy Orbison, right? Oh, that's great. But yeah, sorry, gave it away. This is a Taiwanese bootleg. Roy Orbison. Awesome. 38 cents. So, that was the end of the cheapo records. Now I went down the street. Did I go down the street? I'm just going to say that it did. You can't prove otherwise. It was close. Okay, I went to the Heritage Antique Mall. Right? And they had some records, some markdowns. And I looked at them and I said, okay. Randy Newman, Born Again. This has one of my favorite Randy Newman songs on it, Ghosts. It's on Warner's. I played a whole side of it today. It was good. It's one of his least regarded albums, but I think I like it just fine. And it's good stuff. Well, the song sounds a little much like Short People to my liking, but I think he was in that groove at that time. It was 1979. Things were different. He was looking for a hit. Didn't find one on this album. He did about 5 years later with It's Money That Matters? No. I Love L.A. Right, that was $2. This was $3. And this is The Ventures in Space. Okay? And Outer Limits, Penetration, ooh. One Step Beyond, Twilight Zone, Moonchild, Exploration and Terror, Fourth Dimension, He Never Came Back. The Ventures. It's spacey. This is Dalton Records. The hell is Dalton Records? I don't know. You decide, people. It's in good shape. I like it. It's really, really nice. This thing here. I already had it. But I'm like, I need to buy this. And why do I need to buy this? Why do I need to buy the Chicago record? Why would I? It's Chicago 5. Not exceptional. Or is it exceptional? Does it have something in here that I didn't have? Something that makes this record infinitely more valuable, because this thing got pasted up on walls, and there are two of them in this record. They're the posters, and they're like in mint condition posters, and they're fold out, and I fold them out. There's enough to, there's probably like 8 feet worth of posters here of the band. Anyway, these guys, and they weren't attractive guys. And it had that poster, right? And it's got this poster, which is a giant wall poster. So, had all this crap in there. And I, again, played the vinyl today. I gave it a spin. At least the side with dialogue on it. That side sounded great. Sounded good to me. Chicago 5. Right? Now Chicago 6 didn't have all that stuff. It's got a fold out, but it didn't have any posters with it, and I don't know if any posters came with it originally. It's got some good stuff on it. The Saturday in the Park, I think, is on here. People like that. Can't guarantee that's what's on here, but I think so. Now this other one. Those were $3, the Chicago albums. They're $3 each. And I said, all right, I'll pay that. It's not too much to ask. And this was, you remember I told you about the thrift store, the Family Crisis Thrift Center, whatever they're calling it, that likes to charge you per disc. And it's like $2, and has it got 2 discs in there? Well, that's $4. All right, no, not this time. They put stamps on the records, on the record albums, and so they're $2.99 for like 2 disc set, right? And I said, that's very interesting. I will participate in that. The Allman Brothers Beginnings. It's like all the early stuff. It's got all the dead band members, which is pretty much all the band members. Almost everybody's dead. Anyway, Dwayne, Barry Oakley, Butch Trucks. It didn't work out so well for Butch Trucks. Dickie Betts, I think he's still with us. Greg Allman, recently passed. Anyway, 2 record set, $2.99. All right, which is sweet, which is good and wonderful and kind and all that crap, but same store, $2.99 for a multi-disc set, but got 4 discs. Yeah, this is Keep On Rockin' from Warner Special Products. And they put these out in the early 70s, and they just loaded it up with crap. All kind of stuff. And they would put these out all the time. And I would see ads for them in, like in magazines. Like when I was a kid, and I was like, man, I'd like to order that. But you can't order it. But anyway, because, it was years before. But this is one of those sets. All right, so 4 records. I played like 2 of them today. I was lazy. Time Won't Let Me, Time Is Tight, Booker T and the MGs, Soul Deep, Incense and Peppermints, or other stuff. 6 O'Clock by the 11th Spoonful, Crystal Blue Persuasion, and The Rain, the Park, and Other Things by the Cowsills. That was the number 2 record in the country when the day I was born. The number 1 was Daydream Believer. Can you believe it? It's true. Along Comes Mary, that's about marijuana. All these and more I was able to pick up. Now, spent a little cash on the record albums, but that's okay. It's fun. Now a brief commentary. I felt like I needed more out of life. I wanted to revisit my childhood. You see, I didn't own. I was a record collector, and we all know about the tragic loss of so many possessions in the storage unit in 1993. We all know that story. It's oft told because I often tell it. And I used to be a major cassette collector. And lately, I've been looking at cassettes. I've been looking at reinvesting and buying a nice cassette deck, and they're starting to make tapes again, sort of. I can't buy into this. Okay, for one thing, the cassettes, most of the cassettes now you have available are new old stock, and they're 10, 20 years old, and they're still wrapped up, but those are the good tapes. Okay, because you got type 1, type 2, you can't find type 3 and type 4. Metal, very expensive. Okay, all the new tapes that are available are type 1. Okay, and we all know, even back in the 80s, we knew type 1 was crap. You didn't want type 1, that's only good for talking on. It's not good for music, a lot of sound, a lot of bad sound, a lot of surface noise. Well, you could get rid of that surface noise by using Dolby noise reduction, which was common on a lot of cassette decks back then. Well, Dolby no longer licenses out their noise reduction technology to cassette makers, right? So the companies making these new cassette decks don't have Dolby noise reduction. They might have some kind of noise reduction, but it ain't the same. Okay, so these type 1 tapes, which are the only new ones you can buy, are going to sound like crap. And they're going to be expensive because it's going to cost at least $1, maybe $2 per tape for a 60-minute or a 90-minute tape with not great sound. And I've looked into this. Somehow I wouldn't mind doing the cassettes again. But you gotta have better tapes, and you gotta have better tape decks. Okay, because a 100 pack of CDRs, 100 pack of these things, they're $20. Okay, $20 on the, for reasonable quality, and you get an hour and 20 minutes on each one of these things. Okay. It ain't vinyl, but in many ways, the mixtape has become the mixed CD. There's no comparison, and I love the nostalgia. I love the idea of cassettes, but it's not happening now. If there's a revolution of a revival of the vinyl type coming to cassettes, it's a long way off. Okay? There's a huge collector's market that's driving up the prices of old cassette decks and old blank cassette media, driving the prices up insane. It's not going to work out. And that's my special commentary on cassettes and why the revolution is not happening. I got typewriters. That's happening. And seriously, the reason I'm not in the typewriter room is because I'm making way. I'm making way for the old, put the typewriters on the table and photographing them. Eventually it's going to happen. Can't tell you when. It will happen. All right, I've rambled on long enough, so it's time to ramble on. And I don't have that little click thing in here. It's in that other room. So I'm going to have to use this hand, which I so often use for other purposes. Here, let's push this little chromium switch, and we'll see you next time. Click.